Tire changing. Oh, these tires are changing. First thing you do, let all the air out of the tire, okay? And if you want it to go a little bit faster, you may have the kind of cap for the inflation nipple like this one that allows you to remove the valve. And if so, if you just go right ahead and screw the valve out, you can put it right back in later. We've got a little dishwashing liquid and a brush for smearing it on your tire beads and your rims. I use a couple of long, old, cheap screwdrivers. You buy them for about $1 a piece anywhere at a garage sale. And these thingy bobs on the right that you're looking at, those are, official flat tire irons. Once you get the nuts and everything off, you don't know how stuck it is, and you should be able to just get a big old screwdriver like this and wrench that puppy up. But you may need to tire dance on it if it's been there a long time, because they sort of get stuck on the rim. But go ahead and a little water, a little brush, soak them up a time or two. And by tire dancing, I mean doing this kind of stuff on it to break that bead loose. I also happen to have some of these, and that'll get the rim off the ground and give you even more flex for pushing these things apart. But they're not too hard. That's the neat thing about split rims. And there you can see the difference in the two rims. Okay? And you can see that they get a little dirty. You need to scrape off the debris that's in them. You'll get debris in them. There'll be hunks of rubber come off the bead of the old tire. Scrub them off good, wire brush, Scotch-Brite. Paint them if you want them. Now, when you put them all back together, you need to look for the rotational arrow. And on this particular old Nilo grip, there's a round circle here and it says E4. That should line up with your inflation nipple. And as you can see, there's a notch in your rim, and there's a corresponding notch in this one. So be sure to line the two rims up with that notch. E4 on the tire. I always start with the push the tire on the big rim first, then insert your tube, line it up with a notch. You'll be able to move it around. Then you line up your notch and your holes and push the darn thing together like that. Now I put a little axle grease sometimes on some tires. It's a little slicker than water. That's all it is. Then turn the darn thing over and start putting your nuts on. Now some tires you may have to do some more tire dancing just to get, or standing on it, just to get the nuts started. But get the nuts on, tighten them all up in a circle, and just before you close them all the way, put something in between them. Since this is not fitting today, is it? Like a credit card or something, and you can push on that inner tube in between each of the bolts and make sure it's not pinched. Okay? And in fact, at this point, I like to put 2 or 3 pounds of air in the inner tube before I put it all together to make sure to give it just a little bit of a donut shape instead of that flat shape that it might be in when you get a new one out of the box. Okay. Other than that, snug it down good. Double check your work. You don't want your rims falling apart on you. And then this little line here, there's a little bead. There's a little raised thing, perfectly round, that's cast into your tire that'll be right on the edge of the rim. And that's your thing that you look at to make sure that you've properly set the bead, because sometimes there are portions of the tire that won't set properly. Okay, and you see that little bead right on the outside edge of the rim? That's your bead alignment mark on the tire. You can see it goes all the way around, and that just to let you know that you got the tire beaded in properly. Okay, thank you.